Welcome to the Under Review podcast, where Saturdays mean everything, rivalries run deep, and the SEC reigns supreme. Hosted by Todd and Marty, two die-hard fans breaking down every snap, storyline, and showdown across the Southeastern Conference. From the swamp to the plains, between the hedges to the bayou, no team is safe when it's under review. Now back to the action with Todd and Marty.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 67 of the Under Review podcast. Week 2 is here, and we are ready to talk about it.
Getting ready for it. But just to recap the end of week 1, did you see that beating that North Carolina took?
It was pretty good. It was a good one. I think
it started off, but then it went to...
I think what happened was everybody was so anticipated for the Bill Belichick debut. Everybody was overlooking. I about slipped up. Everybody was overlooking the quarterback from TCU,
who played excellent,
who played outstanding, especially after his off-season extravaganzas.
I'm telling you, the defense for TCU, that the number 21 kid that had that pick six, he played lights out all game.
That running back played good as well.
Oh, dude, he's a monster. Yeah.
But, as always, I'm your host, Todd. Alongside me is my co-host, Marty. Our special guest is here, and he is backstage. He's ready. He has done notes after notes after notes. He is ready and beyond excited to get out there and ready to actually hear what he has in store for us today.
Let's see if we can get his talking button on today.
Yeah, last week, I think out of all the on-screen pick'em, I only lost one game, so I did pretty well.
So how'd you do off-screen?
I think I finished number 1. Oh, no, I didn't. Because I lost UNC.
I know I didn't. Because I lost UNC, Florida.
I finished season. I am first. Me and Brandon are tied for first.
By what, 8-10 or
7-3, and Justin and you and Cody are all tied for fourth with 6-4.
I know, like you, that I felt that's one of the worst ones compared to. Well, you remember what last week I went 2 weeks in a row not missing a game.
Yeah, that ain't happening this year.
Oh, we suck again.
But let's see what we got in store for today.
Oh, I could have hit that while we were doing that.
Yeah, I'm just ready to talk about everything.
Breaking today, the new AP Top 25 out, and it's really shook up this week, guys. As not Nick Saban's team anymore. The Kevin DeBoer era is in full blast as the Tide dropped 13 spots after the embarrassment in Tallahassee all the way to 21.
And
wow.
FSU jumped up to 14 as well.
Oh, yeah. They were unranked.
To 14. Pretty good spot. I think the top 5 is correct. Ohio State 1, definitely. Penn State 2. LSU jumps into 3 over Georgia. Yes, LSU played a better team. Clemson drops to 8, but we'll get there. Georgia, like I said, Georgia 4. Miami jumps to 5. Understandable. Oregon 6. Texas only dropped to 7. I guess I kind of agree with that. I just think they played worse to be in that spot.
So what SEC team dropped out of top 25? Because didn't we have 10 in? I think there's 9, or I can't count good. 6, 7.
Yeah, you can count. There's 10.
Okay, I thought so.
And Auburn's at 27, so.
I see the wheels are changing, maybe.
I see. I think if Oklahoma keeps moving up here, top 15, Auburn probably breaks in top 25 by then. Good matchup.
Before the Oklahoma game?
Yeah, could be game of the week stipulations at that point.
And I do, once our guest gets in, I want to kind of just get his real quick take on this. Because that's crazy. And especially, we got to figure if Alabama don't straighten it up, they drop out of the top 25. I wonder how long it's been since they've been out of the top 25.
I know it's been since like 2008, I want to say. I know our special guest will probably know the numbers on that one. I think it's 2008 is the first time they've been outside the top 20.
I was about to say it's even in the top 10 because I know they struggled a little bit a couple of years ago before Saban got there, but I don't think they've ever found this far down the barrel.
Right. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Should be, teams from around the state, like I said, we cover here real quickly: Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Jack State, Samford, South Alabama, UAB, and North Alabama. And Troy's supposed to be up there too. I don't think I sent you that one yet.
No, I don't think so. Which one's North Alabama? The Lions?
The Lions, yeah.
So who was Cody talking about with Scott Cochran?
West Alabama.
Well, we need to throw them on there too because I like that.
Yeah, we'll figure that out before Sunday.
You would think so.
All right, starting it off, 11 a.m. on CBSSN. It's a mouthful. The 1-0 Liberty Flames go into Jacksonville State at the 0-1. I like Jacksonville State here. I know it's one of our pick'em games. I know. It's actually a conference game too. So both of these teams throughout the years have been played inside the championship game or been very
close.
Leading up to, yes. So I like Jacksonville State here getting back in the win column, especially in conference play right here.
I don't know. Jack State they seemed very mediocre. What I watched of them, they just couldn't get anything moving in the right direction. Not saying that they'll lose this game, but...
Well, they did hold a Big 12 team to 12 points, or 17 points. Granted, it was UCF, but it's still a Power 5 team.
I get that, but I don't know. Jack State's one of my favorite teams, but how well did Liberty do in their first game?
I mean, they won.
Oh, well, thank you, Sherlock.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you saw that or not.
No, yeah, I seen that. I just wasn't sure who they played or.
I'm pretty sure it was a nobody. They beat Maine 28-7.
Okay, so maybe Jack State here.
Yeah, Maine's the team that Oklahoma blew out the water last year.
Right.
Then our next game we'll talk about 2:30 on CBSSN. The 1-0 UAB Blazers take on the 1-0 Navy Midshipmen. Okay, I like UAB here.
Nope.
But I want to see more out of Blake Horvath than I did last week. So I'm going towards Navy on this one.
Yeah, same here. I just, as close as game that UAB game was,
right,
trying to really figure out their identity, what they got going on. I like Trent Dilfer. I like what he's doing, but I think Navy takes this one.
Right. The 1-0 Trojans at 2:30 p.m. on the ACC Network take on the 0-1 Clemson Tigers. This will be all Clemson all day in this game. Yeah,
this is Dabo's.
This should not. Now, unless Troy has something up their sleeve, they could slip in here and be like a Jacksonville State, or Troy has done it a couple of times. Go on the road, make this game good, find it in a late game situation, and end up winning.
I don't think so.
I don't either. I think Cade's going to sit in back and get more into form this game.
As you remember, to losing the game, you were so pissed off and ready to get back in to win things. I think this might be where they hash it out on Troy State. That don't make any sense.
6 p.m. Couldn't find. I'm pretty sure ESPN Plus will cover this game. The 0-1 North Alabama Lions will take on the 0-1 Southeastern Missouri Falcons.
Screaming chicken.
Yeah. I'm going to stay in state here, so I'm going to take North Alabama. This is a FCS feel. I don't really have that much stats on the FCS, so, without looking further into it, stay home with North Alabama.
Well, I would, but man, that screaming chicken looks pretty cool.
It does, don't it? And then 6 p.m.
Alabama.
ESPN Plus. Alabama A&M versus Alcorn State 0-1. Both teams are 0-1. I'm actually go Alcorn on this one.
I don't know the logistics, but I like the purple and gold.
Yeah, I like that too. I mean, Alabama A&M played a really hard team last week in Arkansas, so. And then 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus, the 1-0 Tulane Green Waves take on the 1-0 South Alabama Jaguars. I like the Green Wave, but I like the Jaguars better.
I like to go with our friend from last season, Major's North Alabama's there. Yeah, so
don't ever pick against Major.
Nope, don't ever pick against Major.
Then you got at 6 p.m. again on ESPN. Plus, you have the 1-1 Southern University taking on Alabama State, who is 0-1. Alabama State played a good game against UAB last week. I think they keep that up this week. They get back in the win column after going on the road for their second straight week.
So I've noticed when I was doing some of the stuff on this, have some teams already played 3 games?
No.
Well, so how are they already 1-1?
Week 0, week 1. This is week 2.
So they lost week 1 and lost.
They lost week 1 and then won week 2 or week 1.
Okay, so
they
I know
lost week 0. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Well, I think Kansas has got a 2 with that. Right.
Well, after all that we got done with around the state, we're going to take a quick word from our sponsor, and then we're going to get back with some SEC football.
Hey, babe, we got ants.
Okay, kill them.
No, really, there's a lot of freaking ants.
Well, what do you want me to do? I ain't no expert.
Well, fine then. I'll call Tactical Home and Pest.
Go ahead and call Benjamin.
Hi, this is Ben Dominguez, owner-operator of Tactical Home and Pest. Call me today before it's too late. 256-592-2842 or visit me at tacticalhomeandpest.com.
All right. Thank you, Tactical Home and Pest, for being another one of our sponsors for this year. And now we're looking inside week 2 of the SEC play. Let's get it. 11 a.m. kickoff on the ABC network. 0-1 San Jose travels down to Austin to take on the 0-1 Texas Longhorns. I think this will be Texas this game. Yes. But I think it's going to be a good bounce-back game for Arch Manning. I still have my doubts about him, especially the way he played last game. Yeah. But he should win this game.
Should.
That was what I said.
Right. I'm horns up on this one. I don't think this, like you said, this would be a rebound game for him to kind of get in the groove, see if he can get better in alignment with his receivers, if that's the way you want to put it.
Did I miss a slide?
Georgia and the Jack the Ripper looking fella.
Well, we'll find out here in a little bit. 1-0 Austin Peay travels down to 1-0 Georgia, 2:30 ESPN Plus. I think this will be Georgia. Gunnar Stockton getting to find his little bit of rhythm, eating him another cupcake on the sidelines, and then Ryan I don't know his name. The backup he got in some last time. He'll get a little bit playing time. All Georgia, all day in Sanford Stadium.
Yeah, most definitely Bulldogs. This maybe, like I said, this could be a 50-point game.
Yeah. East Tennessee State travels down to Tennessee Volunteers. Both teams 1-0, 2:30 ESPN Plus kickoff. And I'm pretty sure I did forget that game. I do like East Tennessee. I like their coaching staff. But I think the Vols are going to be too much to handle right here.
Yeah, most definitely. Joey Aguilar really found his tune last week. I think he's got a lot more confident now, especially after the good win for them. So Tennessee here.
Yeah, 247 yards and 3 touchdowns last week as well for Joey.
Right, like I said, that'll boost anybody's confidence.
Even if it is against a cupcake. 2-0 Kansas waltzes into 1-0 Missouri at 2:30 on ESPN.
Ooh.
I like the Daniels kid here from Kansas. He's 456 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception on the year. Granted, they have played one more game. But I don't also see Kansas. Oh, well, I could see Kansas coming into Missouri and beating them right here after a cupcake win for Bo Pribula last week and Eli Derkowitz. But now facing a Power 4 team in Kansas, could this be a good game for Bo? We don't know yet. But I would like to see a good competitive game right here at 2:30 on ESPN right here.
Yeah, I think the matchup, do you got the number on what the margin is?
Yeah, pulling it up right now. 64-36 Missouri.
I mean, I'm just never been on the Eli Derkowitz train. But I know there's some talent there as his team. Again, this kind of differentiates them from the cupcake games, but I'm going to take Missouri.
The 1-0 USF Bulls travel down to Gainesville to take on the 1-0 Gators. 3:15 on the SEC network.
I think it's going to be a little bit closer, But I do think DJ Lagway and Napier is going to be on the same page. I do like Florida here, and I think UCF will give them, not UCF, USF.
USF.
Yeah, we'll give them a challenge to the first quarter, maybe a little bit in the second. That gum.
Yeah, no, I got it too. But I think the way...
I hit it too early.
Oh, okay. Anyways, I think the way Byron Brown played last week against Boise State, the way he led that team, the way they had confidence going into that game. Give me USF over Florida this week.
Oh, is that in our pick'em this week?
It is not. That's why I can say that confidently.
Confidently.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I think Florida will sleep on them a little bit. I don't think DJ Lagway might not have the best game. Granted, I'll say that he comes out there for 5,000 yards.
Right, and 74 touchdowns.
Yeah. I got to have one upset, and I think that's probably my go out on a limb upset pick. So I'm taking USF over Florida.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he did it last week.
True.
1-0 Arkansas State Wolves travel into Woo Pig against the 1-0 Arkansas. 4 o'clock on the ESPN Plus.
That's a whole lot of saying Arkansas in a
Arkansas, yeah. But I think Taylor Green, again, he's going to have his cupcakes and he's going to eat them too. Butch Jones and this Arkansas State offense is not going to have any answer for the Arkansas defense.
Right. So is that the same Butch Jones?
They used to coach at Tennessee.
Okay. That's just
and Alabama, yeah.
Yeah, again, Taylor Green's, I think you can pick them apart. So
I mean, he should.
But so who did Arkansas State? Who was their first win?
Arkansas State last week beats SEMO, the team we talked about earlier.
Oh yeah,
Southeast Missouri beat them. Okay, beat them 42-24.
Okay, yeah, I think they'll have a little bit more trouble with
Arkansas.
With Arkansas.
Here's that game that was supposed to be earlier. Number 1-0 Utah State going to 1-0 Texas A&M Aggies. 11:45 SEC Network. Sorry, we try to put them in order, but when you do a late week one's always hard because there's games until Monday, and then we got to turn around and do a podcast on Tuesday.
Yeah. That's what I was talking to Cody about this morning. I said I had some of the slideshow stuff ready.
It just wasn't.
It just wasn't in the thing. I said, I forget how week one is such a turnaround.
Yeah.
That there's only 2 or 3 days to.
It's a day.
Yeah, right?
It turns quick. But I think Texas A&M handles Utah State here.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. This should be a no-brainer.
All right. 1-0 Louisiana Tech travels to Baton Rouge against the 1-0 LSU Tigers. 6:30 on ESPN Plus. I think the way LSU played last week coming into this game, you're not touching them. They're the number 3 team in the nation right now. Louisiana Tech might score a touchdown in garbage time, 63-7, I want to say, but it's all going to be Nussmeier this game.
So first of all, that's La Tech. I understand, but Louisiana Tech's never been my forte.
Right.
Just La Tech. But anyway, no, I definitely Nussmeier really played a heck of a game against Clemson, and I don't think it's going to differ here. And I don't even think if he played the fourth quarter unless some crazy miracle happens. And
I think he could play the fourth quarter on the bench and they still win.
Right. Knox getting after it.
Yeah. 0-1 Ball State goes down to Jordan Hare Stadium to face the 1-0 Auburn Tigers. 6:30 on ESPNU.
Again, the same as we've talked about Nussmeier and LSU. I think Jackson Arnold really can perfect his game here. Get some more of the receivers involved. I don't think he'll have much of a challenge as he did against Baylor.
Right.
And as well, and just to know that we updated, as when we talked, the Champ Anthony injury was, I won't say heartbreaking, but to see as much as he went through.
Again.
Right, it hurts him again. Such a great athlete and a great kid, but to see him out with, I think, surgeries sometime this week or
yeah. But he could get back before the end of the season. But again, right here with this Auburn team, if I'm Hugh Freeze, I'd stick with that run game. You have them this week. You have South Alabama this week. Stick with that run game. Not a lot of passes because you don't take a lot of passes. I mean, yeah, you're playing Oklahoma the week after South Alabama, so they already know you. But give them less film on you passing the ball as there is possible. But again, even though it is Oklahoma, he did come from there. So, I mean, you kind of take that in consideration too.
Yeah.
But the less you throw the ball in these games, lean on your running backs, the less film they have when you throwing the ball, and then you can blaze them for 350 yards against Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I thought Auburn did good kind of getting around. I know Singleton didn't have he did have some catches, but I think they used him in a lot of ways, especially on one of the touchdown runs that Arnold had. They used him as bait when they were trying to run like a wide receiver screen or something like that. I like this. Get a win, get everybody healthy. Then same as next week before we never want to look over games, but
yeah, you start looking over, you get Diego Pavia, New Mexico State coming into town.
Exactly. Oh, this ought to be something.
6:45 on the SEC Network. 1-0 Louisiana Monroe travels down to Tuscaloosa. The 0-1 Crimson Tide. Had to put some emphasis on that one.
Yeah.
I think there will be 2 quarterbacks playing this week. Maybe even he'll play all 3 of them. I don't know if that's a good way or a bad way, but I think you're going to get more reps at the quarterback position than you did in week 1 in the loss against Florida State. That being said, yes, Ty Simpson threw for 254 yards, but it was just the consistency of him.
Right. Did you watch any or listen to any of the DeBoer's press conference?
Yeah, I about had a brain aneurysm trying to listen to him.
I did. I caught probably the last 15 minutes on my way home today when I was listening to Jock, which I've started doing, which is okay. But anyway, all he said was, well, we did a few things wrong here. We need to practice there. And then he's like, just go have fun. Just go throw the ball. Nick Saban would have had a full-on stroke after all this. He was being nonchalant. Yes, I know it's week 1. Blow it out your tail and get ready and all that. But, man, it's crunch time in T-Town because there are, like you said last week, they're already calling for pitchforks and everything else. And at 60, I think it was 65 million for his buyout, he's not going anywhere no time soon.
This episode of the Under Review podcast is brought to you by Chuck's Heating and Air. Chuck has over 40 years of service and experience with residential services. He services most makes and models. He is Alabama licensed, bonded, and insured, and locally owned and operated. Are you hot and you're supposed to be cool? Are you cool and you're supposed to be hot? Then you've got a problem. Call Chuck. Area code 256-892-2757. Again, 256-892-2757. Chuck's Heating and Air.
And just remember, just call Chuck's Heating and Air 256-892-2757. With all that, we're going to bring out our special guest, one of my best buddies. He is an Alabama fan, but we let that slide. He loves WWE. We talk about baseball. And now let's bring him to the podcast. Justin Lee.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, brother?
Sorry about that.
I don't know.
So now that the 15 minutes of technical difficulties out of the way,
now you
and
see
the Braves
what we
are
do
playing
with every week.
Right. Now that I see the Braves are playing the Cubs after that heartbreaking loss last night.
Yeah, Pierce Johnson's been the heart and soul of the stability of our bullpen, but he gave it up last night.
Well, I mean, what Spencer have, 5 innings, 5 hits? I think I don't want to say a down year, but his thighs and his mustache have kind of faded a little bit this year for me.
All right. Arizona State travels down to Mississippi State, the 1-0 Sun Devils versus the 1-0 Bulldogs, 6:30 on ESPN2. Justin, what you got here?
Honestly, looking back over the stats from this past weekend, breaking them all down, as far as Mississippi State goes, I like them in this game as long as they can control big plays on defense. If they don't give up any big plays, they played Southern Miss this past weekend, and it was pretty much even on time possession. As far as they had a lot of penalties that stacked against them, though. They had 14 penalties for 119 yards.
God, that's killer.
But I think their key player, if they win the game, will be their quarterback, Blake Shapen.
Yeah, Marty, go ahead.
I most definitely see what you're talking about. The penalties are big right there, and I think that could hurt them if they don't work that out. That could hurt them big in SEC play. Blake Shapen's a good quarterback. Don't know much about Arizona State, but like I said, I do like Mississippi. I do like Mississippi State here with Shapen at the helm.
I as well like Mississippi State here. Sam Levitt is the quarterback for the Sun Devils. Watch out for Tyson here, a wide receiver. He had 141 receiving yards last week out of the 257 that was thrown by Levitt. They only won that game 38-19 against Northern Arizona? Is that right, Justin?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. So the caliber of Northern Arizona versus the caliber of Southern Miss, I give the slight edge to Southern Miss. So I think the way Blake Shapen, Davin Booth, Fluff Bothwell, all these guys have played. Isaiah Simmons in the back as a safety with 7 tackles, who had second most on the team last year. So really like the Mississippi State Bulldogs to pull off the upset and a 54% favorite for the Sun Devils in Starkville this week.
Yeah. Just like you said, paper-wise, I know it's 54%, but that's with Fluff and them guys there. I really think they can open it up a little bit more.
Then the 1-0 true freshman quarterback coming in, 1-0 Michigan coming into Oklahoma, which is actually college game day this week. 6:30 on ABC. Marty?
Man, I think this is going to be a good one. Probably not the best one in our top 5. 2 really good ball clubs. Really get to see how John Mateer can face a little bit more. I don't want to say more better because that's a raglan word. A better defense in Michigan. Oh, yeah. No, I think this is going to be a good test for Oklahoma because what are they ranked? 15th, 16th?
Oklahoma's 18th, Michigan's 15th.
Okay, so I think this is a really good middle-of-the-road matchup here for both these guys. Because I think the level where John Mateer could be at could be the breaking point in this game for Oklahoma to win. But if Michigan comes out and plays, like the top team they have been the last couple of years, I think this is going to be Michigan.
Justin?
Well, looking at the stats from this past weekend, my biggest hold for Oklahoma is their lack of rushing. For the overall of the game, they only had 103 yards against Illinois State. To play Michigan, which has our old running back with Justice Haynes. He had huge rushing against, I know it's New Mexico, not a SEC defense, but he had a lot of big rushing yards. Then also I like how Michigan against New Mexico, they had 20 first downs and they were 6 of 13 from a third down. Overall, I think Michigan's an overall well-balanced team. The only thing that will keep Oklahoma in this game to me is, like you said, their quarterback play and Keontae Lewis, their senior wide receiver. He has some pretty good numbers against Illinois State. But overall, I think Michigan's just a more balanced overall ball club.
Yeah, so that's really good. Really good.
You think with Michigan coming in with a true freshman coming in on the road inside an SEC environment at a 6:30 night game would get the edge over Oklahoma here?
I think it's a tit for tat, but I think it comes down to a one possession game.
I think you said it right there. It's going to be tit for tat, tick for tack, whatever you said.
Who's tits?
Yeah, exactly, Boars. But I think it could come down to whoever gets the ball last in this scenario. And the way I feel about that is because, yes, Bryce Underwood, true freshman, on the road in a big game at Oklahoma. But like Justin said, Justice Haynes is a running back. Ran for 159 yards last week on 16 carries and 3 touchdowns. He gets in trouble, he can just turn around and give it to him. Justice Haynes knows this. He played against his team last year.
That's what I was about to say. Justice Haynes is a SEC running back, so he knows the caliber. And I think that's going to be the big difference here in this game.
The number 6.
But I will say, Oklahoma did not give up one single big play against Illinois State, where Michigan's defense, can they hold that Oklahoma offense to no big plays? Oklahoma showed it that they could hold a team.
Right.
But can Michigan do the same thing, like Todd said, on the road?
53% in favor of Oklahoma here, 46% in favor of Michigan. I need more of a run game from Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma finds that run game this year against this Michigan team. Give me Oklahoma to cover.
Like I said, it's going to be a good game to keep up with this one.
I agree as well.
Was that real knocks or fake knocks?
That's real knocks. Or fake knocks. 1-0 Vanderbilt travels to Virginia Tech to take on the 0-1 Hokies, who played. Virginia Tech played pretty good against South Carolina. They disrupted the offensive line. They disrupted Lenore Sellers. They need to do the same thing against Diego Pavia this time if they want any chance of beating Vanderbilt at home this week. Go ahead, Justin.
I think I got to take Vanderbilt on this one. I know Vanderbilt had a lot of hype last year, coming out, beating Alabama, and playing a bunch of very good games. But I think Virginia Tech's defense is what's going to lack them there, because I'm looking at the stats against South Carolina last week. Sellers had a 20-yard pass, 20-yard pass, a 15-yard rush, a 23-yard rush, another 30-yard rush, a 64-yard touchdown pass from Sellers. Virginia Tech's defense is just too shoddy for me to go with them. But only thing on Virginia Tech against an SEC defense last week, like you said, in South Carolina, they were 8 for 18 on third down. But their overall for the whole game, they only had 115 yards rushing, 220 yards, 1 passing yards, but they had 2 interceptions. So, if they can't limit the plays on defense and they can't quit turning the ball over, I see Vandy. I think they could win by 10 plus in this game, and that's just my opinion. They didn't give up no interceptions. They didn't turn the ball over, and they pretty much controlled the game against. I know it's Charleston Southern, but that's just my opinion. I think they're just a good, sound ball club this year.
Yeah, no, not a bad opinion there either. Because I mean, like I said, we know Vandy can, like you said, have that big game experience with Pavia and Eli right there. That 1-2 quarterback tight end duo, and Virginia Tech. Yeah, I mean that's a really good South Carolina defense. I know it was a pretty close game right there at the end, but at the end of the day, it's not enough. Vandy's going to be 2-0 going into week 3.
So ESPN's got them 63% in favor of Virginia Tech, and I'm going to stay with Virginia Tech. I like their defense. I like the way the defense have played when they rushed the quarterback. When they set back and only rushed 3 or 4, didn't blitz, they stayed in coverage. That's when Lenore Sellers hurt them the most. So I think if they keep on Pavia, which I think Sellers is a better quarterback than Pavia. So
True.
I think if you can get to Sellers, you can get to Pavia. You just got to catch him and wrap him up.
Yeah.
But if Kyron Drones does not limit the interceptions this week, it will be Vandy. But I'm going to take Virginia Tech.
But I think the 2 key players to watch here on both sides of the ball will be Donovan Green for Virginia Tech. He had 3 catches for 94 yards against South Carolina. And like he said, Eli Stowers, he had 4 catches for 86 yards.
Yeah.
So you got 2 good wide receivers right there that can really change the game with big, huge plays. Which defense is going to limit those plays is what it all boils down to for me.
And I do think, too, as well, Virginia Tech does have a little bit better defense than Vandy. So, them guys, let me have my aneurysm. I'll be fine.
We will.
Right. So, just if they can limit that, but if Pavia can find ways to disrupt that defense, which I think it's going to be a close ball game, but I still like Vandy.
Okay.
And just so we can make a note, Brittany does not.
Okay. I agree.
That's a good transition.
Yeah, next we're going to take this into our interstate game of the week for the Cy-Hawk Trophy, kicking off at 11 a.m. on Fox. We got the 1-0 Iowa Hawkeyes on the road to take on the 2-0 Iowa State Cyclones. All right, Marty, hit me with something here.
That's going to be all I got, something. That one-day turnaround.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the yellow team, Iowa.
Iowa?
Yeah, like I said, I didn't get much on this game, and like you said, I know Justin did his homework, so maybe he can enlighten me some, and then we'll have a better opportunity at it.
Well, I'll say I lacked on the knowledge on this one until earlier today. This was I didn't realize Iowa State's already played 2 games this season. So I took the stats from the first game they played because they played against a Kansas State team that's more rounded over than a South Dakota State, I think it was.
South Dakota, yeah.
So I took the first game of the season and I looked at it and I went it over. Iowa State they seem like a well-rounded team. They're not really much on penalties, and neither is Iowa. So I don't think penalties is going to become the problem. But I think if Iowa State's front can't stop Iowa's rushing, I know Iowa only played Albany this week, but they had 310 yards rushing. That's huge. Quarterback play, Iowa don't have one. He only had 48 yards passing. So that's a very lack-worthy. But if you look farther down the stat sheet, Iowa, they were 10 of 16 on third down and 2 for 2 on fourth. And so, they're not afraid to go for it. No. Neither was Iowa State. They were 3 of 14 from third. That's not good, but 3 for 3 on fourth. So, you could play it both ways. But I think Xavier Williams, second, is going to be a hard person to stop for Iowa State. He had 122 yards on 11 carries and a touchdown. So if you're going to stop Iowa, you're going to have to stop the running back.
Well, I think if you're going to stop Iowa State, you got to stop Rocco Beck at the quarterback position. He is 33 for 48 on the season with 5 touchdowns, 461 yards. He is what they're calling – he's in the Heisman race early on. Granted, he's played more games, so probably that's why. But
I was about to say, so his second game was a whole lot better than his first game?
Yeah, I mean, if you watch his first game, he played pretty good against Kansas State, yeah.
With 46 yards?
No, that's Mark Gronkowski for Iowa.
Oh, okay, from Iowa. Okay.
Yeah, but I do like Rocco
Iowa
Beck
State
here.
did have Iowa State had 2 fumbles against Kansas State. I didn't look at their stat line against South Dakota, but they did have 2 fumbles from the running backs.
Yeah.
Well,
now that I'm a little more
in Dublin, Ireland.
Oh yeah, they had that crazy game over with the Leprechauns and what have you. No, more informed. I mean, I've always been an Iowa fan to a sect. I like their aesthetic. I like their look, but I don't think there's any way that they can beat Iowa State here with that high-powered offense that the Cardinals or Red Chickens or whatever they are.
Cyclones.
Okay, okay. Is that a type of bird, or are they a torn?
Yes.
That's like Roll Tide Elephant. I don't understand it.
Yes. But now, let's where's it at? Here it is.
Yeah, get that.
All right, now we're back into our first SEC Game of the Week at the Under Review Podcast Game of the Week. A 2:30 kickoff on ABC, the 1-0 Ole Miss Black Bell Rebels, Land Sharks, whatever you want to call them, versus the 1-0 Kentucky Wildcats. at Kroger Field in Lexington, Kentucky. Marty, start me off with this one.
I started the last one.
Okay, Justin, go ahead then.
Kentucky was lack of
Yeah.
against Toledo, and that's not much to say there on that offense as a whole. I mean, they were able to rush 220 yards, but when Toledo outpasses Kentucky 270 yards to 85, that says a lot for me. Then I mean, there's nothing much to say behind Lane Kiffin's offensive style and offensive play. Lane Kiffin is Lane Kiffin. He will always have a high-powered offense. But when you break it down, and they had 695 total yards against Georgia State, I don't care. It's Georgia State. That's still high-powered offense regardless. I mean, you can go down the stat sheet of how many explosive plays they had as a whole. I mean, they had at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They had 6 plays in the first half of 19 yards or more. Then it's near about the same thing in the second half. The players, I mean, Austin Simmons, I think he is a freshman this year, if I remember serves me correctly. He had 2 interceptions against Georgia State, but he also had 341 yards passing through the air. Keywan Lewis had 16 carries, 108 yards. But the big kicker for me is Harrison Wallace III. He had 5 catches for 130 yards and a touchdown. So I don't think it'll be a competition. I think Ole Miss will walk away from it like they did against Georgia State. And I think Ole Miss wins this handily on the road.
Yeah, I definitely like that pick. I know that Kentucky's also starting somewhat of a freshman quarterback in Zach Calzada, being the starter, and it was very lackluster.
Freshman where? He's his 7th year.
Like you said. I meant not freshman, but like since he's actually starting and being SEC.
He started at Texas
ready, which
A&M.
I don't think. And how well did that go?
He beat Alabama.
Okay, never mind. But no, like you said, Justin, Lane Kiffin. Maybe I was just asleep last year. No, but anyway,
it wasn't
like
last
Justin
year.
said,
It was
Lane
3 or
Kiffin,
4 years ago.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's done, like Todd said, he's done been to 7 different schools. He's done been to Auburn. And that didn't perform there neither.
No. So, Todd, the funny that we say that we joked about TJ Finley, and that next day I was stopping in Walmart and I just flipping through my phone, and it said TJ Finley signs with his 7th school in 6 years. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Georgia Southern or Georgia State.
I think it was Georgia State.
Yeah, Georgia State. Woo. But anyway, no, like Justin was saying, Lane Kiffin's going to do Lane Kiffin things. I mean, put up 63. Yes, it was Georgia State, but they got better as the game went on. First quarter, 7 points. Second quarter, 18 points. Third quarter, 17. And then in the fourth quarter, they put 21 points on the board. So we've got to be saying that, it's not just your starters that are good. Your backup people are pretty decent too if you're still putting up 24 points in the fourth quarter. So, again, the Black Bears, Line Sharks, definitely go with them here on this one.
The Lane Sharks?
Lane Sharks,
I mean, yeah, Austin Simmons played great. He was 20 for 31, 3 touchdowns, 341 yards. He also had 2 interceptions. Kyron Lacey, 108 yards on 16 carries, also 3 touchdowns. Wallace III, 5 receptions, 130 yards. TJ Daugherty on the defense, 9 tackles. All right. Played Georgia State, yes. We're going to throw that out the door right now. Zach Calzada, 85 passing yards, went 10 for 23 and 1 interception. Absolutely dog water.
Yeah.
Dante Dowdle,
he missed 13 passes.
Yeah. Dante Dowdle,
Did I make that right?
the Nebraska transfer, 14 carries, 130 yards, 1 touchdown. All right. And then Afari Jr. as a linebacker made 13 tackles. So, granted, the numbers are saying everything. Even ESPN, 83% to Ole Miss coming on the road and beating Kentucky.
Oh, you bumped your head. You have
Give me
bumped
the
your
Wildcats
head.
making an upset. I know I have, but I think Zach Calzada's going to turn it around this game. He's going to throw for about 250 yards. Dante Dowdle's going to run for another 130, and they're going to stop Ole Miss in their tracks and have a party inside Kroger Field after they beat Ole Miss.
Justin, just know that all Auburn
after
fans think
giving
this
up
crazy.
270 yards through the air against Toledo, man, there's just no way defense turns around in 1 week after giving up 270 yards through the air.
No.
Now, granted, they gave up 59 on the ground, but 270 yards in the air on 23 or 40 attempts. Now, they got an interception off of them. I'll give you that. But there's just nothing there showing me that Kentucky's defense can slow down Ole Miss's offense.
I mean, Auburn gave up 410 passing yards this week, but they're not going to give up that many this week.
I hope not. But no, you've been drinking Knox's formula or something because your brain's getting
don't drink
scrambled.
formula. No, I mean,
also looking at the stats too, Toledo, they came on in the fourth quarter. They had a 22-yard pass, a 23-yard pass, a 39-yard pass, and a 20-yard touchdown pass. So they started throwing the ball better and moving the ball more against Kentucky late in the game.
And maybe too, Kentucky had some of their scrubs in, but nonetheless, it's playing time.
Playing time's everything you need in SEC play.
Well, it's still going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I know Kentucky's going to win.
Okay, next time I see you Saturday, I'm just going to punch you.
Right in the throat.
Right in the throat, yeah. So, speaking of Saturday, guys, I'm going to be setting up a spot here at the Raglan game, Raglan Youth Field. Any of your custom needs, I can get you took care of. I'm starting kind of a new line on some things, doing some new artwork. Because you can find me on the social media platforms. Just reach out to me so I can get you took care of.
And also, Saturday, if you don't want to sit there and look at him, you can listen to me while you're there.
I don't know what's worse.
Yeah, I know. Wild Country Homestead's our homestead that we run at our location. Anywhere from chickens or rabbits to quail to pickled quail eggs, bread, everything that you can think of, dinner rolls, cinnamon rolls. We have it at our disposal. Just contact us on Facebook, and we'll get back with you as soon as we can.
I'm learning.
Should be everything. Yeah, guys, like I said, after all the technical difficulties we've had, I want to thank Justin for stopping by and spending an hour with us. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for
Might have you later on. Might have you on again later in the season. Depends on if you're available. But like you said, you pretty much are. So.
Well, if we
make my schedule when you're your own boss,
right? Well, if we can just wrangle that other Alabama fan and get him long enough to sit down.
Yeah, he's supposed to be on in a couple weeks, so we'll see about that. But again, thank you guys. Remember, God loves you, and we love you here at the Under Review Podcast. Thank you to HCS Media. Thank you to the Dad Pod. Thank you to Brandon Trammell, Cody Mealer, and Judd Dickinson. And we'll see you next time when we go Under Review.
Thanks for making the call to go Under Review. Join us next time as we go to the monitors. Until then, keep your flag hanging.